Look, have mercy on me.
What's up, everybody? Welcome back to On the Bluff. I'm your host, Christian Fowler, with my fellow host, Gabe Kuhn. And can we give a round of applause? It's a special edition episode of On
for the boys.
The Bluff. There it is.
That's the one.
There's some fake applause in there.
Yes. Hey, thank you to the studio audience. Appreciate you.
We've officially made it. It is Gabe Kuhn wedding week. That's where we have to start. Saturday night. That was weak. That was weak. Right. Saturday night, it is going down.
Do you have any awes in the crowd?
You want an aw?
I want an aw.
Oh, like that. I thought you were like a
aw,
like a bad aw. But okay, yes. Anyway,
Kenny's a married man. Why'd he play that sound?
Yeah.
Hey, what's that about?
That's not what you were looking for?
I don't know if that, I don't know. What are you saying? Are you trying to signal something to me?
It sounds like it.
Yeah, but that's why I wore this fit. I have my golf shorts on and my Eddie Bauer shirt. I'm trying to look like a middle-aged married white man. Yes.
Okay, so
that's the whole idea.
We love analogies on the show, correct?
Yeah.
Okay. Fourth quarter, 3 minutes left. Driving. It's looking good. Smooth drive. We hadn't even got to a third down yet. That's how smooth it's been.
Okay.
All you got to do to win the game is go punch it into the end zone.
Yep.
Unlike University of Memphis against Missouri this past weekend, they had some red zone struggles, couldn't punch it in. Gabe, are we going to punch it in?
Oh, absolutely.
Okay.
Easily.
No
right. Questions about it.
It's a dub.
Oh, yeah. We're in there. We're probably, I don't like your analogy because that assumes that we're like down or tied or something.
Yeah.
We're up. We're up by 3. We're at a 4-minute drive. We're just trying to run out the clock, and we might add one, into the end zone just for like for safekeeping.
Yeah.
Just to make it look better. Yeah. You know what I mean?
Kind of like the Miami Dolphins this weekend.
They made it look better.
Is that what you're feeling like?
Yeah, okay. Absolutely.
Okay.
We're up.
I guess that is probably a little bit better, a little bit safer, but obviously we're all excited for you. Can't wait. Kenny and I will be there.
Do y'all have your fits picked out, man?
Yeah.
Are y'all going to be fresh or what?
Yeah.
I got my fat boy suit.
I got one suit.
I got one suit.
I got it 10 years ago.
I got it literally a year ago.
Okay.
And so I'm hoping that Tracy's like, you might want to go get it checked. And I'm like, yes, ma'am.
Is it outdoor or indoor?
Indoor, for sure.
It's indoor. Okay.
Oh, the cadre.
My big ass.
That's what I was thinking.
Outdoor in a 4-piece suit? Hell no.
Yeah, because I've
had to do that before. That's a bad idea. But yeah.
Okay, we're gonna look to our right a lot tonight. Kenny got the Monday Night Football game working, so we're currently watching.
Yeah, and he's sweating the first touchdown.
Yeah, I'm sweating AJ Brown, first
touchdown
scorer. Chris Godwin almost just scored in the corner of the end zone.
But
all I know is pain. So if we look to our right, that's why.
But
usually,
you're fitted to the T for the weekend, right? You're fitted to the T.
Yeah. So I went to a wedding this past weekend, and I just went pants button down because it was outside, and I still was heavily sweating, and I'm not a big sweater. It was just super humid. So I was debating on going. Oh, that was.
He looked at it again.
That was so nice.
Kenny, this was a mistake.
Yeah,
this was a mistake.
Such a mistake.
Huge mistake.
Mike Evans just dropped what would have been the first touchdown of the game. Sweet. But yeah, I'm not a big sweater. I was sweating anyway, so I was debating on if I'm going blazer for your wedding or not. But I figure if it's inside, I can
rock the
pull
blazer.
It's
nice. And then when we go, you hit the dance floor and you start shaking that thing, he'll take it off.
I don't believe I'm going to do that.
Oh, come on.
I can't do that.
If I'm up there doing it.
I can't do that in front of a bunch of people I don't know.
I got to be soft.
If that's soft, I'm soft.
So it might get hot in there. We are indoors.
It's a dope
But it looks like we're going to have about 270 people in there.
Oh, I thought you said 350, so that's not
No, the guest list altogether was 333. We've had some decline.
Oof.
Some friends, they are.
Yeah, clearly.
No, but we're gonna be 270 deep. We're going to be packed in there.
That's a huge wedding.
It's big.
You know how many were at the wedding I was at this past weekend?
Not many.
80.
That's good. See, that's all right.
And that was all, I'm a big fan of the small, intimate weddings. Not to, everybody's got a little something different. I know y'all got a lot of friends and family.
A lot of friends, but also mom. I've told you this, I think. Maybe I did. I don't know if I brought this to air, but 9 in my mom's immediate family, brothers and sisters, and
your dad
5
too.
on my dad.
Yeah, so you have a huge family.
Yeah, and on my mom's side, it's like she has a lot of older siblings, so there's a lot of my first cousins that are like approaching their 50s.
Yeah.
So like it's just generation after generation on that side. And there's just kids, you know, I have second cousins that are about to get married and like all that. So we're going to be deep.
Yeah.
Deep as
So
hell.
more family than friends.
Yes, for sure.
Yeah. Well, I'm excited. I know you're excited. Taylor's excited. Kenny is excited. We're all ready. We'll give when are you going to St. Lucia? When are y'all leaving?
Sunday,
Monday?
Monday. We ain't leaving Sunday. You kidding me?
That's what my friend that got married this past weekend did. Got married Saturday night, flight left.
I'm gonna have a long day on Friday, long day on Saturday, drink probably that night, and then on Sunday you expect me to get up and get on a plane?
Oh, I'm
Hell
with you.
no.
I get it. Their flight left at 5 a.m. on Sunday to go to Punta Cana. And
we did almost do that, but then we're like, yeah, that would be dumb for us.
And I departed him at midnight, and he was hammered.
So he went probably straight from there.
Yeah,
Not straight from
I
there.
think they
but-
slept for a little bit, but we're friends with him and his brother, and saw his brother on Sunday, and he was like, he was not looking good this morning. He
Yeah,
was
no,
looking-
that's not fun.
yeah.
That's not
But
fun.
anyway, we'll get to recap the wedding and the honeymoon in 2 weeks
Yeah.
when you're back. Kenny and I may talk about it a little bit next week
Yeah, we are.
when we're flying solo. But
Should I be nervous about that?
No.
no.
Okay, all right.
Nothing but kind words from us, brother, in serious situations.
Okay, cool.
But yeah, excited for you.
I'm hyped up. I'm hyped up. I think it's not nerves for actually getting married. It's nerves about getting family in town because there's so many people.
Just everything going
Rehearsal
right.
dinner. Oh, how's the wedding band gonna be? Oh, what music are we picking? All that crap. So
Right. All that stuff that really doesn't matter, but you
all
can't
that
help
stuff
but
when
worry
you
about.
get past it, you're just like, why do I even worry about it?
Right. Yeah. No, I think it'll be a lot of fun. Quick weekend recap. Anything interesting this weekend?
No, well, I went to a wedding. I mean, I was a groomsman in a wedding. So
Yeah.
there's that. I watched the entirety of the Memphis Mizzou game on my phone, sitting at a table at the reception. The entirety. I didn't miss a snap. I tried not to miss a snap.
Yeah.
I had to miss a snap during the actual ceremony, but then after that, I'm on the bus on the way over like this. I'm literally walking up to my table at the reception with the phone like this, then set it up. You know those candles with the water in it and the candles
Yeah.
floating? Set it up against one of those, and I was
kick back.
rocking. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, Taylor, hate to do this. Can you go grab me a plate and a drink? I'm not missing this.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah. So we were both weddings this weekend. That was about it for me. Nothing really crazy past that. Hit a nice plus 3,800 parlay yesterday.
I
Sunday.
hit you'd have to do the math.
Probably
right in
plus.
front of me.
Didn't you say 10 to win 170
No,
or 270?
it was 20 to win 270 about. So do you cut that
plus
math?
15. No.
I'm 135.
Plus 13 plus
1350.
1300. Yeah.
1350.
Yeah. So good.
Yeah.
We had
pretty good.
we had a
Yeah. It saved my weekend.
Yeah. Yeah, that's it. That's all I got. So we've talked about this Memphis, Missouri game a couple times. I usually hand you the floor first, but I want to give a couple preliminary thoughts before we hear what you have to say. Just because I love hearing you talk. So this is going to be so terrible all night. Okay. Last week, our keys to the game were get pressure on Brady Cook. Seth Henigan's going to have to play perfect if there's no running game. The pressure wasn't great. They got to him a couple times. They had some tackles for loss. So I think it was passable enough for them to win the game up front. We'll talk about the secondary a little bit later.
Yeah.
Seth Henigan just still. He
Doesn't look himself.
he just doesn't. In the big moments, he's not making the plays that have to be made. If you look at the raw stats, they're not terrible. But the 2 interceptions,
Yeah.
and he fumbled twice. They didn't lose those fumbles, but 2 fumbles and 2 interceptions. One of them coming at a terrible time on a 4th down late in the game when Memphis really needed to put points on the board. We can also get into that a little bit later. What you thought about that decision. But I just don't think Seth is playing well enough to elevate this team.
Right.
I think he's playing well enough for Memphis to be fine. But as far as for them to do something special and to elevate this team, he's just not playing like that.
So Jeff Calkins said it an interesting way today, and I think I kind of agree with it. You wanted him to be the guy coming into this year that would lead you to wins, that would
Correct.
play well enough to elevate everyone around him for him to be the reason you win ball games.
Absolutely.
Now, I'm not going to say he's been awful because he has not been awful.
No.
But he's become, you thought he was going to be the reason you won games. Now he's the reason. He's not the reason you're losing. You get it's just so in between. He's right in the middle, and he needs to take care of the ball better. No questions asked.
5 interceptions?
5 interceptions so far, and then fumbles. Luckily, didn't lose either of them. But he's just got to take care of the ball better. And my other issue is I feel like he's late on some of his reads.
I agree.
And
it's like a slow progression.
Yes. Now, there's some balls, like he still has those flashes. The one down the sideline to Rock Taylor.
Right.
Back shoulder ball. Rock went up and got it. Great ball.
Mm-hmm.
Joe Skates, 4th down. Great ball. When it needed to be there, on time, delivered perfectly, good and accurate. And then there's other ones where you're just looking and you're like, there's something missing. And we know he doesn't have a fastball.
Right.
So that's another thing that other quarterbacks can do that he can't really at this point. But it is frustrating to see how he has played so far this year because I feel like the weapons around him are better than they have been. I feel like the O-line is playing a lot better than it has the last 2 years. And now you want to see him continue his progression, and I haven't seen that yet.
Yeah, completely agree. I think you look at Rock Taylor, especially over the last 2 weeks. I think he's got 13 for over 200 and one touchdown. The other one got nullified in the last game. So he's been on easily the best stretch of his career as the wide receiver 1 on this team.
And I like to see that, by the way. He had to sit wait in the wings for a while.
100%. Awesome that he is breaking out. We had him on the Players Club last week. Super, super cool dude. Super cool story. And Blake Watson is legit.
he's a dude, man.
He has
gone for 80 yards.
He has 24 catches this year.
Yeah.
In 4 games, averaging 6 catches a game as a running back.
Now, they couldn't run the ball, though. Like, that was frustrating as hell.
And I love the aspect of, we've talked about this for so long, of getting playmakers involved. And in the past, these running backs, we haven't seen them involved heavily in the passing game, outside of maybe Asa Martin in specific games. But Tim Cramsey clearly has a plan to get Blake Watson the ball.
This is the guy.
However he has to. To your point, disappointing that they couldn't run the ball. I think we both kind of had a feeling that it was going to play out that way, which is why we were so adamant that Seth Henigan had to have a big game. I think they averaged 2.7, 2.8 yards a carry. It's just, it didn't feel like a game where they were going to be able to get the run game working.
They protected Seth somewhat okay. There was like 3 sacks, but they protected him for the most part all right.
Especially for him throwing the ball 47 times.
I was curious to see how the O-line held up and the front 7 held up on the defense. And you started to see as the game went along, they just sort of wore down, especially on the defensive front.
Yeah.
Late in that game, Cody Schrader, halfway through the 3rd quarter, you just saw their run game just start.
And Pete, they were both ripping off big runs.
They were just mauling them up front, getting into those sort of mid-zone plays, and there was just freaking gashes there.
The size of Missouri took over,
and I think ultimately, we'll talk about the secondary. I'm not mad at the defensive performance in like a really huge, meaningful way. The first touchdown was ridiculous, though. You got to be ready for them to take a deep shot over top immediately. But I don't know if I like, there are defenses in the past that would have gotten absolutely torched by that Mizzou team, and I thought they hung in there for the most part until they really wore down in that second half.
It was the big plays.
Yeah.
It wasn't the in between stuff. It wasn't constant 12 until later in that game.
Yeah.
But it was the big plays. It was big play after big play when Missouri's offense was rolling, especially in the first half. In the second half, I guess maybe in the 3rd quarter, Memphis's defense had a stretch where they really put it together and they really looked good, stopping Missouri, and then it just kind of, that's painful.
That is very painful. Yep, it hit.
Was that Olamide Zacchaeus?
Yeah, that's Zacchaeus. Now continue.
That would have paid a lot more money.
But their defense started to put together in the second half.
Yeah, it played well. They played well in the 3rd quarter until the wheels kind of fell off. So it's not completely discouraging. It's definitely not completely encouraging either. To see the secondary get beat multiple times and then the run defense, the front 7 kind of get worn down over the course of the game.
This is the thing. Like, you see some people try to do the moral victory thing. Oh, well, they stuck in there. They really fought. They did their thing. against a team like Mizzou, no, I can't do that. In 2013, 2014, before this stretch we've had where we've seen the Memphis football program get to these heights where they are a championship program.
Right.
They can beat SEC opponents. They do it all the time. Like, you see it all the time, usually at home, but they are able to beat Power 5 opponents. Like, I can't take a moral victory because they lost to Mizzou by 7.
Right.
You just can't do it. We're past that, right? We've pushed through that barrier of, oh, well, you competed against a Power 5 team. No, we've seen that they can beat them. You're supposed to beat them.
Agreed.
Now, granted, they're on the road. There's a lot of, there's a lot of different things that go into that. I thought they were feisty. I'm not fully discouraged by their performance, but that was a game that you certainly wanted. And it was, and quite frankly, Mizzou is a beatable team. I think this Memphis team can beat that team.
Yeah. It's not like Memphis did anything crazy in this game. They were, 6.5, 7 point, I think 6.5 point underdog.
Yes. Lost by 7.
Right. So it's not like they came out and they were this Cinderella story team that was that was projected to lose by 3 touchdowns or anything like that. This is exactly
what Vegas
odds
expected.
makers were expecting. So it kind of just says, all right, Missouri is who we thought they were. Memphis is who we thought they were. Now let's project that because there are no more SEC teams waiting in the wings for Memphis. You got Boise State, Tulane, a slew of trash American teams, and then SMU.
Yep.
Memphis is currently projected, according to ESPN FPI, to win every single game on the schedule other than the SMU game, which is at home. My hope...
I don't think SMU looked all that good against TCU this week.
I don't either. My hope for this team, and I believe that this is going to be the case, and we'll have another Players Club tomorrow, so we'll really be able to get a read on these guys and just where the morale is. Judging by Ryan Silverfield in his press conference on Monday, he didn't seem like he was in some horrible mood that they lost this game. I think if anything, for this team, a relatively young, and even if you don't want to use the word young, inexperienced, a lot of guys that haven't played a lot of time outside of really the offensive line and Seth Henigan. I think this shows them, at least in their minds, I know what everyone thought about Memphis and Missouri, and that's about what happened. But in their minds, from talking to them last week, like, they felt very disrespected. They felt like people thought that Missouri was just going to roll them over, and they didn't. They competed the whole game. They gave themselves a chance to win really down until the end. So if they use that...
Confidence.
This is not a lost season, and I don't think anyone's saying that at this point.
Whether they won or lost this game, like, you win it, you still have to take care of business in the American Athletic Conference, or the season means nothing. You lose it, you still have to take care. Like, everything that they have set out to, I know how annoying and ridiculous and cliche that becomes, but everything they set out to do is still in front of them.
Absolutely.
But here's my thing. These next 2 games are so unreasonably vital. Like, they're just so vital. Yeah, win one of the 2 at the very least. You win 2 of 2, we're back on board. You lose both, no one's on board. We're off to Grizzlies and Tigers basketball.
100%.
That's what it becomes. If you sit at 3-3 after this 3-game stretch of your season of Mizzou, Boise State, Tulane,
it's done.
All of any level of hype you thought you were getting, any level of fandom you were going to get in the Liberty Bowl, it's going to disappear. And I think they know that's the truth. It's an uncomfortable truth, but it's a truth.
Yeah. I mean, if Memphis wins that Boise State game, which I would say, what time is that game? Is it a 6 o'clock game?
No, it's a 3 p.m.
3 o'clock. 3 o'clock. I would imagine that'll be a pretty good environment for that game. Decent environment.
Okay.
If they beat Boise State, then you get Tulane at home. I would imagine that'll be a pretty good environment for that game.
You want to sit at 4-1, 1-0 in conference, and then have a chance to beat on your home field the projected winner of the conference.
Yeah.
I think people will turn out for that. That'll be a fun one to follow.
Yeah. Everything is you hit the nail on the head. Everything is in front of this team. The goal is the AAC championship game and AAC championship win. That's all still on the table. You lost the game, but it's not a conference game. It means nothing.
Yeah.
Nothing. You control your destiny at this point.
It meant something as like that game, because I heard TJ and Trey talk about this on Tigers on Tap. Does it mean anything? It meant something for Ryan in regards to getting people in the stadium and getting people back on his bandwagon.
Without a shadow of a doubt.
That's it.
Without a shadow of a doubt.
So I don't think he's really brought in any new people that were off of his, that were off board.
Yeah, right.
With Ryan,
and vice versa. I don't think anyone's jumping ship.
Yeah, and I don't think anyone's jumping ship. But like these next 2 games, yeah,
yes,
100%. I think you have a chance to sway some people, and I also think you have a chance to have them jump off completely and just for the rest of the year. If it's 0-2, they ain't giving you any benefit of the doubt. Nothing.
Yeah. No, Memphis certainly hasn't played perfect up to this point in the season, but they've still played well enough to win every game on their schedule.
Mm-hmm.
Every game from here on out, every game for the whole season was winnable. But just to look at what we have left, every game is winnable.
No,
there's not a game on the schedule.
No question.
That's not winnable. So now it's just controlling your own destiny and go out, line it up, and see what happens.
So what needs to happen? What do they need to do to win those games?
Seth has to play better.
100%.
Seth cannot turn the ball over this much. For a team that's struggling to run the ball, turnovers are a kiss of death, especially, yes, they're running the ball and all that stuff, but for a defense that's played really well, giving them extra opportunities to fail is not going to help this team win ball games. If they can play clean, continue to play the style of defense that they've played outside of the Missouri game, fast, aggressive, flying to the ball.
Even the Mizzou game, I'm not like, nothing made me just sit there and be like, this defense sucks.
No, I agree.
At all.
It didn't look like a porous defense that we've seen in the past.
It looked worse because they stepped up in competition, but I mean, at the same time, like, I am just not turned off by that performance. I thought even in some bad moments, like we saw them, give up those chunk plays, especially they got ran all over, but like, I at the end of the game, of course, they held up.
They still look fast and aggressive.
I still am not discouraged by it. I'm just not.
They forced 2 turnovers in that game. Memphis probably wins, first of all. But excluding that fact, we're probably still talking very, very highly of this defense.
Right.
They just didn't force any turnovers.
Yeah.
They couldn't generate any turnovers and really too many negative plays other than a couple of sacks.
Yeah.
So, and we know turnovers are a finicky stat. Like it fluctuates so much, and a lot of it is just how the ball bounces. But they just weren't able to get the ball to bounce their way in that game. So I'm not concerned about the defense. Hopefully they can clean up some of those big shot plays and stuff like that. I think that just comes with seeing it, and they haven't really seen it that much this year.
They haven't experienced somebody like Luther Burden before.
Right, who is incredible.
10 catches, 177.
Yeah.
God. We had the debate, what do you do with him? I guess you can't do anything with him.
No,
he's just better.
He ran wild.
He's better than you. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I mean, he's that good.
So I think Seth Henigan cleans it up. The defense continues to play the way that they've played, and you keep getting the ball to Blake Watson and Rock Taylor.
Yes. Yep.
That's it.
And also, I'll say this. What I do want to see is I want to see somebody else in that wide receiver room step up.
Yeah.
I've been waiting for Demir Blankumsey, especially after that Bethune-Cookman game. I'm like, okay, this guy can be the shifty speed threat who can beat people, get the yards after catch that you want. Because Rock's not, besides, I mean, he had that tunnel screen that he took about, 50?
Right.
But he's not a big run after the catch guy. He's a guy you go give jump balls to, and if he can be, somebody can be draped all over him and he'll still make a catch in traffic. I need Demir Blankumsey or maybe Joe Skates. I need someone to be a speed, shifty receiver that can go beat you with the ball in his hands in open space. I need that in a big way.
Are they putting Demir in the right spots, though? Are they getting him the ball in the right way?
I mean, they targeted him 11 times. He had 7 catches. It was just 36 yards or whatever. Like they're trying to get him involved. He's just got to make the first guy miss and go make something happen for himself at that point. If you get targeted 11 times, chances are you're getting at least 1 or 2 shots in a good situation for yourself.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree.
Like, so you can try to say, well, the offensive staff isn't scheming him open how they should be scheming. Well, they're scheming him open enough to where he's getting 11 targets.
Yeah.
Do something with him.
Agreed.
That's my opinion.
Yeah. Any other thoughts from you? I think we pretty much nailed that one.
Just about covered it. But I just sort of recapping. I just don't. There's nothing about that game that I'm overly discouraged about. But at the same time, like you still can't do the moral victory thing at this point.
Now
that's just where we're at.
See it and show it.
Just show it.
Yeah.
The rest of the year.
We can debate all night long if Memphis is using Demir Blankumsey correctly or not. But there's one thing that is not up for debate.
What is it?
Kenny always puts us in the right spot.
Yes, he does.
Every time.
Every time.
100%.
On the time.
I hit the right spots every time.
Okay.
All right, buddy. Okay.
What?
Okay. First of all, that is a blatant. I mean, I just know that's a blatant lie.
What?
Yeah.
Just a blatant lie, Kenny. Come
What?
on, brother.
How dare
I love you, but don't hype yourself up like that.
How dare
Yeah.
you?
Don't hype yourself up like that, brother.
Yeah. And
God.
we're gonna ask Kenny to take a back seat for a second so I can finish this out. Kenny is 46 of 46, or currently 45 of 45, putting us in the right spot. I believe he's going to go 46 of 46 tonight. So we're going to take a quick break, and we'll be back on the other side with the Hot 3.
Bluff City Media and Bluff City NIL are proud partners of Coaching for Literacy, a Memphis nonprofit using the power of sports to impact childhood literacy. When you donate to Bluff City NIL through Coaching for Literacy, your gift is 100% tax deductible. This partnership is a win-win-win. Tiger student athletes win in the NIL landscape. Coaching for Literacy wins by engaging Tiger student athletes in this monumental cause. And most importantly, elementary students in Memphis receive support to become strong readers. To donate today, visit coachingforliteracy.org/bluff-city.
Does that throw in that decision made by Seth worry you at all? There's been a lot of talk about people saying he hasn't taken the next step. As a lot of people would assume as a third-year starter. Are you seeing some of that?
I definitely expected
Is Seth
a little bit
leaving a
more
lot to
from
be
him.
desired out there?
Yeah, and I think that is due to the style of play, right? And I'm not necessarily saying that's all on Cramsey because I think he catches the heat for it, but I think this is all a philosophy. And Ryan saying like, hey, I want to be a team that runs the ball, that opens the pass. It kind of feels more like they want him to be this era's Brady to me. Just a game manager more than a Riley who's going to go out there and just air it out and
Go
win you
out there
games.
and make plays. Yeah.
Tune in to Tigers Untapped with TJ Willis and Trey Lasley every Wednesday at 3 p.m. on the Bluff City Media YouTube channel.
The fact that we hear about this proposal and not this proposal has been accepted type story makes you think that the Grizzlies ain't hearing this. Like that it seems like this was a good idea to them. You'll be hearing a story about, hey, deal's done. But I do agree with Jeff. It does look like this is something that the Tigers said, hey, this is on the table. Why won't the Grizzlies take this deal? And I don't know, man. I don't like how this is all looking. I think it's going to get kind of nasty by the time it's all said and done.
Oh, I think we're well past that point.
Yeah, I think a lot of the particulars in this I don't really understand. But the fact that it's sitting out there and not showing that this is something that's been approved, that's the part that lets you know that we still have possibly a ways to go, and this could get uglier over the coming weeks as far as the arena fund allocation is concerned.
Tune in to The Anthony Sane Show Wednesdays and Fridays at 12 p.m. weekly on the Bluff City Media YouTube channel.
Discover a world of possibilities at Streetcars of Memphis. Revamp your ride with the ultimate auto transformation. From booming audio systems to eye-catching wheels, powerful lift kits to sleek drop kits, cutting-edge LED lights and light bars, we've got it all. Unleash your style with confidence. Feel the next level of auto care at Streetcars of Memphis. Your dream ride is just a visit away. Visit us online at www.901scm.com and let the transformation begin.
Whoa, what's up, man?
What up, dude?
We
The
back.
Hot 3.
Hey, by the way, why'd you have to call me a podcasting
A podcast
and radio legend
and
to
radio
Silverfield
legend.
when you asked him about my marriage?
Because you are.
To get-
Okay,
to-
well, thank you.
to get
But then
the
you set him
response.
up. You
Yeah.
set him up to say, well, he's a legend in his own mind.
I mean, I was
because you set him up. You did. You really did.
We
Listen.
could just hit the pause right here and throw the clip in if Kenny
No,
wants to.
no,
clip.
we're good. But then, know what I did get offended by? He said, well, he invited me even though he knew I wasn't going to come. He just wanted me to buy him off of his He made sure to send me the registry. I'm like, hold up. It's common courtesy to send no matter when the wedding is. If that person can't make it, you send the
Christian. What's that old saying?
Invitation.
Hit dogs bark. Is that what they say? Hit
And
dogs
here's
bark?
the other thing
Never heard
though.
that.
Silverfield, let's just say he makes a good amount of money per year. Like his salary is pretty solid. I don't think a double-sided air fryer is really going to break him, but I appreciate it regardless.
You said it on your show. You said it on your show today.
Is that what he got you?
Yeah, and actually I'm hyped up about it. I love it.
Oh, hell yeah.
I needed more room in my air fryer. I'm
double-sided.
reliant. Double-sided.
That's
big money. Dude.
You said it on your
Come
show.
now.
You said it on your show today. He sits down on his wallet and he raises a few inches.
Yeah, he sits down on his wallet and he's physically taller. Yeah. So, I mean, that's how it works. He'll be all right.
Listen, man, it was not meant to be a setup.
I know it was fun, and he did say he wishes us success, and that was very nice.
Very nice.
Very nice.
I loved it though. Listen, you never know with Ryan, man. Like sometimes you have to figure out whether or not he's in a good mood or not. You know what kind of mood he's in, and you could tell he was going through it during that availability. And as soon as I mentioned your name, man, his face
shifted.
Everything shifted, man. That's the impact you have on people, Gabe Kuhn.
It's true. It's true.
Oh, thank you guys.
Lighten
Thank
up
you
a
guys.
room, brighten a room.
Well, hey,
You're gonna make me blush.
This is the Hot 3, sponsored by Streetcars of Memphis, presented by Streetcars of Memphis. If you have just a regular car that you need your oil changed, you need just regular stuff done, Streetcars of Memphis has got you. But again, if you want to pimp your ride, they got you as well. Go to Streetcars of Memphis. Description or the website is in the description below. Go check it out. Appreciate Streetcars of Memphis for presenting the Hot 3. You ready? You guys ready to get into it?
Of course. Let's ride.
Let's go NFL news and notes for a few minutes, man. We had some pretty interesting games that happened this week. Some record-setting stuff going down. Some interesting stuff going down as well. Let's talk about it real quick. CJ Stroud, rookie quarterback for the Houston Texans, is balling out. He is playing very, very well. What are your guys' thoughts on CJ Stroud so far for the Texans?
That brother is good.
Yeah,
and he's
really
really good. And like he has to beat that, because they're gonna always hold the Ohio State quarterback thing against him unfairly. Right. But he has impressed the hell out of me with not a great supporting cast, quite frankly. Not great.
It's not. I mean,
it's not awesome.
Is he elevating it, or do they have some guys? I mean, and we don't even have to necessarily go there. But Tank Dell's
Robert Woods, okay.
Yeah.
But
Nico Collins has been really good.
Yeah,
Tank Dell's been really good. Damian Pierce is solid. Offense. Okay, let's talk about this.
Offensive line. Good.
Offensive line. Titus Howard. Is he out for the year?
Titus Howard and Laramie Tunsil. I don't know if Titus is out for the year.
They're both out.
Yeah.
They have another offensive lineman out as well.
Yeah.
But
those are the two main ones.
Yeah,
those
but I mean
guys.
they're playing without 3 starting offensive linemen as Jake Elliott bangs through a big field goal for my fantasy team.
Let's go, Memphis.
Yeah.
Shout out.
Losing track here, but playing with
I think he's
patchwork.
Elevating that offense.
Yes, I agree. It was just an interesting question, but he's playing with a patchwork quilt offensive line, not a great defense. So CJ Stroud, incredible. 0 interceptions in his first 3 starts. They were able to handily beat the Jacksonville Jaguars, who were one of this off-season's darlings.
Even though I never fully bought it.
I was never fully on the Jacksonville
Because
train
defensively,
either.
what are they?
They're bad.
An offensive line, what are they?
Bad.
So, I just sat there and I'm like, you have 2 pretty substantial parts or points of your team that need to be good in a playoff situation, and people are, talking about how damn good they're going to be.
Right.
And, they're going to win the AFC South running away, even though their schedule has the Chiefs and the Bengals. It's just like, no, that's not how that works.
Yeah. I totally agree with that. It's just Josh Allen and a bunch of dudes.
But
out there
CJ Stroud, what is he right now? Through 3 games, he's up at around 900 some odd yards.
A little over, I think, 921 yards. Don't know the touchdown number, but 0 interceptions.
I think it's 4 TDs, 0
yeah,
interceptions.
he's been extremely accurate. He showed a lot of poise. The first 2 games, there was a lot of garbage time. Mm-hmm. But usually we see quarterbacks, especially young quarterbacks, throw interceptions in garbage time, and he did not do that in those 2 games. And then this week, played incredibly well, led them to a big win. They really controlled the entire game. And also, shout out DeMeco Ryans. I think most of us, if you're a football guy, you expected DeMeco Ryans to be a really, really good head coach, or at least have a very bright future as a coach, especially after what he did with the San Francisco 49ers defense. But what he's done with the team with a very small amount of talent, and I know they're not like 3-0 or anything like that, but you've seen that fire in them that they didn't have under David Culley, that they didn't have under Lovie Smith. They're being competitive, at least somewhat, in games. And this could be a launching point for them to at least have a solid year. No one's expecting. We're not saying they're going to be playoff contenders or anything like that. I don't necessarily think that that's on the table yet. That could be, but I think they're on their way to being at least a solid football team.
Let's not sleep on their defensive pieces, though. Too, you brought Derek Stingley and Jalen Petrie are guys you can build that secondary.
Jalen Petrie is awesome.
Like, they're both studs.
Yeah, Will Anderson.
Will Anderson. They have.
What he blocked a field goal.
He blocked a field goal.
Yeah, blocked a
like
field goal.
they have some guys that could really get you off and running. So I like DeMeco. Shout out for getting his first win.
Yeah.
But C.J. Stroud has been the best rookie quarterback. It's not even close.
Yeah.
Not even close.
No. I don't know. Anthony Richardson's...
No, but it's not close. The throwing ability, it's not close. Sorry.
Anthony Richardson has exceeded my expectations.
Yes, but that doesn't mean he's been on C.J. Stroud's level.
I'm not saying that, but Anthony Richardson has exceeded my expectations more than C.J. Stroud has.
But then Gardner Minshew gets in and goes 19 for 23 for 170 and a TD.
Yeah.
That's what he does. Like, Anthony Richardson runs the ball a little too much, and he has to rely on that.
Yeah.
And that's why he's out with a concussion week 3 already.
Yeah.
That's why he got knocked out week 1.
I'm with you. But I don't think he's thrown an
He's
interception
been solid.
yet, and I
He's been
expect him
solid.
to be terrible.
I'll give him that. He has been solid, but he's not doing... No other rookie quarterback is doing what C.J. Stroud is doing from the pocket. There was an out route. I forget exactly who it was to, but he just got off his back foot, read the whole field, and ripped it.
Right.
It was like from the opposite hash, probably about 25 yards downfield, right on the sideline, tiptoe catch, easy.
Yeah, he's been really, really good. No doubt about that. We hinted at earlier the Miami Dolphins and what they did to the Denver Broncos over the weekend. Absolutely dismantled them 70-20, the second most points ever scored in the game. Also had 726 yards, the second most yards.
It's the dumbest
in a
stat
game.
ever.
Yeah, the number
sounds fake.
700 yards in the NFL.
I never in my life thought that I would see an NFL game look like a week 1 FCS opponent playing Bama.
No.
Never in my life thought that.
The number 1 overall yardage record. I can't remember the team that posted that yardage
way back
record,
in the day,
but they played against the Yanks. If that tells you anything.
1951. 735 was the number. I forget exactly who it was.
I don't remember who did it, but it was against the Yanks.
The Yanks. Yes.
That tells you all you need to know.
Exactly.
I've professed this before. I've been on the Tua bandwagon for a long time. Yeah, you agreed with it also. Been a Mike McDaniel fan for a long time, and to see them putting it together, and they did. Let's not forget this: they put up 70 points and 726 yards without a top 12 to 15 receiver in the NFL. Jalen Waddle was out with a concussion this week. Devin Achane, a rookie who had 1 carry coming into this game, goes for 233 all-purpose yards and 4 touchdowns. Raheem Mostert had, I think, 160, 150 yards and 3 touchdowns. Tyreek Hill continued to be just the absolute
nightmare.
The absolute biggest mismatch in the NFL is Tyreek Hill. Pat Surtain, you can make an argument he's the best cornerback in the league, could not hang with Tyreek Hill the entire game. I think he had 154 yards and a touchdown, including a 54-yarder, I think, on the 3rd or 4th play of the game. So, boat race central in Miami.
Tua is a stud. It's just about him staying healthy, and that's okay. He should be the early leader, in my opinion, arguably for the MVP.
Yeah.
3-0 and just looking unstoppable offensively. And the one thing that you had to pay attention to, and I think I brought this up last week, because they played the Patriots, and Raheem Mostert took over that game.
Yes.
Raheem Mostert ran for 100 yards, 2 TDs
touchdowns.
in Foxborough against a Bill Belichick coach defense.
Yep.
That was the missing piece for that Dolphins team. Let's be honest.
The running game.
Mike McDaniel came over from being the run game coordinator with the 49ers. A lot of his teachings and a lot of his schemes are still there with the 49ers, and you see them have success with him. But now you see this O-line start to assert their will in some of those zone schemes. You see these running backs start to break free, and they all run 4-3 or sub 4-3. Devin Achane, I think is how you pronounce it. Whatever, doesn't matter. Achane. He is a sub 4-3 guy. If they can continue to do this, they're going to have a truly walk me down offense the entire year. No one's going to be able to deal with all the different speed and the differentiation of schemes and what they can bring at you and the different ways they can beat you. It's just
the 2 little shovel pass touchdowns. No look shovel pass.
It's crazy, man. It's insane. And Tua is just accurate. We spent all this time talking about what Tua isn't and what is Tua not. He's not a guy with a massive arm. He's not a big body guy. He doesn't have crazy legs where he can run all over you. But let's talk about what he is. A guy who can read the whole field, who can do it on time, and can do it accurately.
Yes.
Everybody focused on all the negatives of Tua. Let's talk about what he is and what he does well. And what he does well wins ball games.
Yeah, agree with you. A little fun fact here. I was looking at this earlier today. You know, Next Gen Stats tracks speed for players and what they run in the game. The top 5 speed this year, they're all Miami Dolphins players. I think it's A-Chain twice, Mostert twice, and Tyreek Hill one. The fastest ball carriers this year, all top 5 Miami Dolphins.
And how about defensively, real quick? They have a guy coming off the edge in Jalen Phillips who's really high up with Next Gen Stats as a pass rush win rate. He's going to start landing a whole lot more. Yeah. They have the highest paid secondary in the entire NFL. Granted,
with
Jalen
reinforcements
Ramsey
coming in December.
is out, but he'll be back.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, man, like this team is very well put together.
Yeah, Van Ginkel's been playing out of his mind. Bradley Chubb's
could argue through 3 weeks if you're doing power rankings, they should be number one.
So who is number 1? San Francisco?
I think
Miami?
San Fran, though. I'd go San Fran, then Miami.
Very close with a razor thin edge between those two teams.
I just think the 49ers defense is just a step up.
Yeah,
that's
absolutely.
And I think that's what you really need.
But Miami's offense is for as good as San Francisco is. Miami's offense is more dynamic.
Yes, by far. Because I mean, Brock Purdy, as much as I love the stats he gets, he just does it within the Shanahan system. Right. He doesn't turn the ball over. There's nothing. I brought this up last week. Is there anything he does on a football field that just blows you away?
No,
not a damn thing.
No,
and he's not that accurate. He just gets it into the hands of Debo and George Kittle and Brandon Ayuk and Christian McCaffrey. And hell, Elijah Mitchell's a good backup running back.
Jawan Jennings is a good fourth receiver.
Yeah, like Ray McLeod when he runs some of those deep
Ronnie
balls.
Bell, 7th round rookie, scored a touchdown on Thursday night.
It's just it does show you how bad Trey Lance was.
Yeah.
But like I wonder when that really starts to bite them in the ass.
That they just don't have an elite level quarterback.
Tua is, in my opinion, an above average to, I mean, he could close, depending on what he does this year, could close in on elite level quarterback.
100%.
Brock Purdy's just middle of the line average. And he's done some good things and he's had some good stat lines, but I'll still stand by that.
He's Jimmy G 2.0.
Hell, he's a $800,000 version of Jimmy G.
Yeah. Agreed.
So is Kyle Shanahan the best coach in the NFL right now? I mean, look at the 2 top teams. His coaching tree.
Yeah. I think
no, Andy Reid's the best.
Andy Reid's the best, but like I think when we're talking about a guy who can get it done without the elite level quarterback, yes, his offense can get that done.
Yeah, and there's very few coaches that have a scheme that can do that, but Andy, you can't.
But also, I think there's something to be said about like imagine if Kyle Shanahan had that like elite level quarterback. Like if he had one of those guys, you would assume, that would work out. But would he handcuff him a little bit?
Right, because it's all within the system.
It's
all within the system.
He name one time where he didn't get the credit for the offense he was running. He got credit with Kirk Cousins.
Yeah.
He always got credit with Jimmy G. He's getting credit with Brock Purdy now. Like he always is the guy who ends up with credit. He doesn't. It's almost like he tries to avoid getting like that crazy, talented. unbelievable quarterback.
They tried to get it.
And now there's some discussions like I don't know if Kirk Cousins is done after the year. Would that be a guy that they're interested in? Reuniting him with Kyle Shanahan in the twilight of his career?
Yeah, I mean it would be the best quarterback that he's had in San Francisco.
Yeah.
Bar none.
Yeah.
I mean Kirk's played, for as much crap as everyone gives Kirk, he's played extremely well this year. In moment, it's so hard to judge Kirk Cousins as a quarterback. Yeah, I know, and that's what I'm saying. They'll go down, and then he plays really well. So it's kind of hard.
He's played really well this year, though.
He has.
I'll give him that
He
because his run game is absolutely dreadful.
Yeah.
Real quick before we move on, I have to bring up a couple of decisions that were made yesterday by coaches that I think should be
Brandon Staley should be fired. Yes. Brandon Staley should be fired.
Regardless of if it worked or not.
Brandon Staley should be fired.
Fire his ass.
Yeah, he's terrible.
24-yard line of his own.
Leading
28-24, fourth down, you go for it, you get stuffed, you give a chance.
With how much? With
a
like
minute and a half
minute
left.
and a half? Yeah,
and you give a chance for Kirk Cousins and the Vikings to go down and score and beat you.
Yeah, and
You're an idiot.
Yeah,
that is, and I don't want to hear, oh, well, you're faulting him for being aggressive. There is such thing as being way too damn aggressive and stupid.
Yeah,
that was stupid.
Yeah, that wasn't aggressive.
It's a
that was
foolish
stupid.
aggression.
It's a bad. That was just a bad.
And he's
call.
done that time and time again.
Yeah.
Like, that's what makes me mad is like, I don't care if they got a pick to end the game and they won 28-24.
Right.
I would have taken him and I would have been like, nope, you're done.
Right
Who's
now.
Who's our interim?
Right
You're
now, yeah.
done. That is just idiotic. Josh McDaniels also really stupid.
Bad. Why are you kicking a field goal?
He kicked a field goal on the 8-yard line on 4th and 4 with 2.5 minutes to go, and he was down by 8. So he cut it to 5.
Yeah.
You have to score a touchdown either way, bucko. Can you do math? Do you know what math is?
It's crazy. It's crazy how many rings he has and how.
Well, he has them all attached to Bill Belichick.
I know, but I'm just saying, for someone who led an offense that was one of the best in the league for how long was he there?
Tom Brady.
I get it, but still,
Yeah, it makes you realize, like, yeah, Tom Brady and Bill Belichick were the entire thing.
Yeah.
They were the whole system. Maybe, like, because think about it, Joe Judge, Matt Patricia, like, some of the guys, they sucked.
Bad.
They're bad coaches. They get jobs, and you realize, oh, wow, they suck.
Yeah, and you can go way further back.
Yeah,
than
you can
that.
go further
And there,
back. Charlie Weiss.
Yeah. Eric Mangini.
Eric
right?
Mangini.
Yeah.
Yeah, you just keep going down that list.
Right.
It's bad.
Has there ever been a good one to come?
Bill O'Brien's halfway,
Bob's okay.
but even him.
Yeah.
Did you call him Bob?
Yeah, Bob.
That's what everybody
Bill
calls him.
O'Brien.
Bill O'Brien.
He goes by Bob?
Bob.
Nah, but it's just like
Bob.
his
It's
name.
a nickname.
like
It's a
that.
shorthand. It's an
Yeah.
abbreviation.
And where is he?
A shorthand for Bill?
Right with him.
Back in
Yes,
New England.
yes.
Okay. No, not for Bill. Bill O'Brien.
Brian.
Bob.
Oh, okay. I thought you meant Bob was a shorthand for Bill. I
No,
was
no,
like,
no.
what? It's one letter.
No. All right, Kenny, move us along. To
All right,
topic
let's go
number 2.
college football week 4. Sorry, I derailed that final part of that conversation. College football week number 4. A lot of cool games. You guys spoke about Missouri and Memphis in the first segment. Game of the week was the Notre Dame Fighting Irish versus the Ohio State Buckeyes. A lot of storylines leading up, during, and after the game. Big time storyline in the game was Ohio State driving down the field with not a lot of time left on the clock. The last 2 plays before Ohio State punched it in to win the game. Turns out Notre Dame only had 10 players on the field.
It's bad.
Marcus Freeman came out today and was like, yeah, you live and you learn. Sorry, we don't have a signal to like let everybody know. What are you supposed to do? Jump up and down and scream? Yeah.
Yeah, pretty much. Pretty much.
Yeah, I would think so. But what are your guys' thoughts, man, leading up? Then obviously Ryan Day had his moment after. A lot of folks are shredding that dude for the things he said. What are you guys' thoughts about just that game in general?
I thought it was a hell of a game.
Yeah, it was.
It was a great
It's
game.
Not what I expected out of that game.
No, I thought that we'd have a lot more high-powered offense, but quite frankly, I don't know if Ohio State really has that offensive juice.
Kyle McCord.
Kyle
Yeah, they
McCord, though, on that last drive.
Yeah, but-
shout out, brother. He was delivering balls where he needed to put them on time. Led that drive down there for Chip Tranum to put it in there.
Yeah.
Former linebacker, by the way. He's big as hell.
Right.
I think the most impressive thing about that Ohio State game is Ohio State themselves. What Lou Holtz said,
It's
while true in the moment, became untrue after
Yeah.
watching that Notre Dame game.
100%.
Because what he said was the reason they lose to the Michigans and the Bamas and all the Georgias of the world is because they're not tough enough.
Which has been
Which
true.
is the narrative from like 2021 on. Like once they started losing Michigan, you say they're not tough enough defensively. They proved that they're tough enough.
Yes.
They proved that Jim Knowles, who they hired before last season from Oklahoma State, one of the best defensive coordinators in college football, they have proved that he makes a difference.
Yeah.
And for an Ohio State team that needs to prove they're tough, to beat Notre Dame
in South Bend.
in South Bend and hold them to 14 points, that is massive, and it made me a believer in Ohio State all over again. I truly believe in them. this year as a college football playoff national championship contender. Whereas, like, going into last week, I was like, okay, if they're going to be the same Ohio State team that has to put up 45 to go win a game.
They don't have that.
I don't know if they have that.
Yeah.
But now I believe in it.
Yeah, that would be my asterisk beside that is, okay, now they have the defense, potentially.
But what do you mean potentially? Because here's what I'll say.
It's one game.
It's one game, but this is a Notre Dame team who you have to remember came into this season, came into this year, and came into this week as a top 10 overall offense with the leading rusher in the country, the guy who set ACC records for TDs and passing yards, who added a whole nother dimension to their offense. So
I agree.
I think that this is one of those tests that you have to take pretty damn seriously.
And I do, but I mean,
But you can catch them on a bad day.
Right. It's 1 week. It's 1 week.
Any given Saturday.
Yeah. And if that's going to continue, then we'll have to see it on display.
Yeah.
For me to be sold on an Ohio State defense, it's going to have to be a lot more than one game against a quality opponent.
Okay.
The flip side of that is I don't think Kyle McCord is there yet.
No. He has his moments, though.
He has. But, man, you've got the best receiving core in the country,
It's not
arguably.
hard.
Arguably.
Well, I mean, but either way,
Washington's
arguably
incredible.
top 3 or whatever. Rome Odunze, Jalen McMillan,
Jalen Polk.
Is it Polk?
Jalen Polk, yeah.
Yeah, they had no. Who am I thinking of?
I don't know.
Either way, and then you have Keon Coleman and Johnny Wilson. Then they're right
Jaheim
there.
Bell, yeah.
But they were scared of Marv being real hurt.
Yeah. But yes, Marvin Harrison is the best receiver in all of college football. No question about that. And Emeka Egbuka is going to be a first-round pick as well.
I think Cade Stover's a solid
Cade
tight end.
Stover, yeah, so I was about to say Cade Stover is a monster. So, yes, he has the weapons, but it just hasn't. They haven't put it all together yet. Could they? Yes, because they have the talent to do so. And then also on the ground, Travion Henderson is an incredible running back. So they have the pieces. It's just, can Kyle McCord handle the keys to that offense?
If I'm Ryan Day, I'd be like, okay, we have Marvin Harrison Jr., Emeka Egbuka on each side of you. Target each of them 18 times a game.
Don't throw it to anybody else. Unless Cade Stover's wide open in the middle of the field, because he's pretty good at rack for
a big tight end. But yeah, just target them.
Just throw it to them.
No less combined 35 times.
They're going to make more plays than they don't.
Yeah. I think I'm with you.
Who just made a play, Christian?
DeAndre Swift made a heck of a run right there.
He's been solid, by the way.
Hurdled somebody and landed on his feet. Let's talk a little Colorado, Oregon, because obviously that's up there.
If you knew ball, though, you knew that was happening.
You knew, yeah. At the end of the day, for those who are just caught in the mass media, timeout first. I have explicitly said so many times while covering sports that there's nothing I hate more than people just getting slobbered all over for no reason. I hate it. I can't stand it. It started with the stupid basketball Instagram pages that hyped up people.
Yeah, no, I get it.
I hate it. And they've done the same thing with Colorado. I get it. It gets clicks. It's Deion Sanders.
I think there's a reason that they, through the first 3 weeks, got slobbered all over. I get it.
But it's too much.
Yes,
you couldn't
of course.
turn on TV. You couldn't get on social media without seeing everything Colorado. They deserved
ESPN,
it.
a quarter of their impressions last week
was from
their social media came from Colorado and prime content.
And to an extent, they deserve it. What Deion's done, I'm not saying it doesn't deserve the love and respect that it's gotten.
But when we're talking football, football, his team, through the first 3 weeks, we knew that they were flawed as hell. If you watched them, you saw it.
Yes.
They have no O-line.
Nope.
Their defense can't generate pass rush. Without Travis Hunter,
they have no secondary.
They don't have enough in the secondary, especially when you get into man coverage.
A flip side, without Travis Hunter, they really don't have the weapons. Xavier Weaver and Jimmy Horn are
solid, but they're not going to get you over the top. They're not a one receiver.
Exactly. And Oregon is Dan Lanning has done a really good job at building that team.
It's taking... Honestly, I think when you talk quarterback and wide receiver talent, I think Troy Franklin's probably a step above. But if Travis Hunter was playing, I think we're almost equal when we come to quarterback and receiver talent. But everything else favors Oregon, and their trenches are favored by. This would be. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, so
it's not even close.
That's my thoughts on that.
And I'll give you that. But if you saw this guy, I remember going into the week, I got so many questions from listeners and other people. Hey, can Colorado beat Oregon? And I explicitly go, no. But that's okay.
Yeah.
That's fine. They're already 3-0. They tripled their win total from last year.
Exactly.
And they have a chance to get to bowl eligibility against Stanford and Arizona State and Arizona. Like, they can win those
Teams
3
that
games.
they can beat.
I don't know about the rest of them, though. They're not beating Oregon State.
No.
They're not beating Utah. They're too tough.
They're too physical.
UCLA, I don't know if they can win that game. USC is not as physical, but I just
They're
don't
not beating
think
USC.
I don't think they're going to be able to come close to USC.
Yeah.
Although Arizona State gave them a little run for their money this past weekend. USC just has these weeks where they forget how to play football.
Did you see what Zachariah Branch hit on GPS?
What?
26 miles an hour.
That's ridiculous,
A true
bro.
freshman wide receiver.
Dude,
For comparison,
in my neighborhood, you can only drive 25.
yeah, I'll give you a couple
He was
examples.
breaking the speed limit.
I'll give you a couple examples. Jalen Hyatt, who was widely regarded as the fastest receiver in football in college football last year, won the Blitnikoff Award.
Right.
Highest he's been tracked is 24. The fastest ball carrier in the NFL this year has been 23.1, and that was Devin A-Chain this past week.
Tyreek Hill could probably get 25, 26. But Zachariah Branch it's probably right there.
It's probably right there.
Gabe, what's
I
the
wanna say-
highest you've ever been tracked?
22 and a half.
22 and a half?
Probably about 27 and a
27 and a half?
Yeah.
That's what I'm thinking.
It was behind closed doors. And
Yeah.
I actually, I pulled my hamstring, so I've never been the same since.
Yeah, I
Right.
feel you. I feel you.
Any other college football topics you want to hit on?
I mean, not particularly,
Yeah.
but I'm with you on the Colorado thing. The one thing I want, just to add on top of this, and we'll move on. Dan Lanning, what he said before that game, can everybody shut the hell up? He's allowed to bring that up.
Yeah.
He said they're about the glam and the clicks. We're about wins.
Oh, that was painful.
We are not about style. We're about substance. Quite frankly, one, he can say whatever the hell he wants to get his team riled up, and it clearly worked. Two, he's right.
You missed the pain.
But two, he's correct.
Yeah, I agree.
Colorado at this point, they're more about style than substance. Can substance catch up? If Prime goes into this offseason and gets old linemen and finds guys in the transfer portal that can really get it going, works it out, just does his job this offseason and adjusts. Sure, the substance can catch up to style, but this particular Colorado team is more style than substance. There's no doubt about it.
Perfect way to close it out. Kenny, last point. Let's get out of here.
Let's do topic number 3 is the UFC, man. They have, it was like an explosion of fight announcements this week. And I'm telling you, man, this is what they do at the end of the year. They absolutely dominate the end of the year.
Yes.
They've got some, not even just including the fight nights that are coming up that are like even this last weekend, fight night was awesome. But 294, 295, 296 are coming up. And they've announced the fights, and I'm telling you what, I want to walk through this with you guys just a little bit. 294, Makhachev versus Oliveira 2 in Abu Dhabi.
Yep.
And so there's going to be a lot of fighters from all over the world coming into that. I think from like the Russia, like Dagestani area, they're going to be coming in and fighting. I don't know a lot of those guys.
Are you familiar with the Russia Dagestani area?
I am very familiar. Yeah.
You've taken a trip over there?
I have. Yeah. That's where I got my beard from. But you got, I'm talking the top 3 fights in this. Makhachev versus Oliveira, baller fight. You got Paulo Costa versus Khamzat Chimaev are fighting.
God,
and you've got,
I hate to say it. I hope Paulo Costa gets
obliterated.
Yes.
I do too. I can't stand that.
I
guy.
can't stand
I think
that guy.
Chimaev is going to wipe the floor
That's
with
it.
him.
That's what I'm saying.
Hope he does.
Then let's move on. That's a great card. But moving on to 295, the GOAT is back. John Jones versus Stipe Miocic. Amazing fight.
And the co-main might outperform it.
Oh my God.
Alex Bejeda and Yuri Prohaska for the vacant light heavyweight title.
That's going to be a lot of. That is probably.
That could be fight of the year.
If you take away like name recognition and you just think about style of fighting, those guys are going to throw the most vicious, nasty combos and just these wild strikes that it's going to be entertaining.
Yeah,
as hell.
that
should be
fight
But
of the year candidate.
Don't you get kind of scared about them just sort of measuring each other out the whole time? Though?
No.
Not with Yuri.
Not with Yuri.
Yuri is
not
a
gonna do
wild
that.
man. He's a wild dude. He initiates so much action. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, what's the top 2 for 296 in December? Is that Leon Edwards and Colby Covington? Henigan and Alexandra Pantoja and Brandon Royval too.
Well,
the
Pantoja and Royval are fighting in that, but the top fight just got announced. I think this last couple of days. The second fight is Tony Ferguson versus Patty Pimblett.
That's not the co-main, is it?
That's the co-main.
That's
Yuck.
stupid.
I hate that fight.
No, there's no way they wouldn't. No, there's
Patty's
no way.
just such a
They wouldn't do
draw,
that over
though.
a title fight.
Patty's such a draw.
Yeah, but
Even though he's
you
not
wouldn't
that
do that
good.
over a title fight.
But then you've got
you can't go 3 round, 5 round, 3 round, 5 round.
Yeah, no, it goes 5 round,
Yeah,
5
it's
round,
the co-main's a title fight. That's like contractually.
well in the lineup. That's what they have.
Yeah,
there.
it might be right now, but you can't. No, not that fight.
Then
maybe if
you've
it was Conor McGregor is the only one where they may do that.
They wouldn't
but
do that even.
No, Patty Pimblett would not co-main a card over a title fight.
Then you got Stephen Wonderboy Thompson fighting Rachmanov.
Shavkat Rakhmonov,
That guy is
a killer.
Rachmanov or however you say his name. Christian.
Rachmanov.
That dude is a monster.
Yeah.
That is going to be a fight. It's just some crazy fights happening at the end of this year. What are you guys' thoughts so far?
I'm excited.
Pumped for all of them. Okay, John Jones, Stipe, talk to me. Go.
Yeah.
Stipe just not active enough, and I know John Jones has one fight since he's come back.
At heavyweight, yeah. No, that's the that would be the card that I'm the most excited about. Kind of obviously with those two headliners, don't really care what's even after that. Like those two fights make the card. I think John Jones is gonna win pretty handily.
Okay.
I like Stipe, and I think Stipe is great.
Here's the thing I'll say about Stipe. Stipe will never walk into the octagon without like a very sound plan. Now, will he be able to execute that plan against John Jones? Probably not, but he'll have a sound plan, and he still might get his ass knocked out or choked out.
Do you think so? I mean, do you think? I just don't know. I think every time I've seen Stipe fight, he very rarely struggles against guys who can't knock him out, and I don't see John Jones knocking him out.
But we don't know what John's power looks like at heavyweight.
And we
didn't
haven't
even
seen
get to see
Stipe
it.
in how freaking long, man?
3 years, I think.
It's been 3 years.
2020.
He's getting old.
Yeah,
He's a
old.
firefighter.
Yeah.
You know, how many fires has he fought between now and last
Right,
night?
a lot.
I would assume.
Yeah. Comes
yeah.
in with no eyebrows. He's got him
Sent
charred off.
I mean, in a realistic world, could Stipe win that fight? Yes. Like Stipe is good enough,
He's a game planner, man.
and
That's what I'm trying to say. He's going to be.
and apparently he's coming in bigger. You know, a lot of times he
Gotta
fights
be.
at like 225. I think he's.
Last time we saw John, he was big as hell.
Yeah, I think DC said he was at like 242 right now. So he's
Do you remember when Stipe fought DC in that third fight and came in skinny as all hell?
like he was like 225, 230
or something.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's going to be bigger than that, you're saying?
Yeah, 242 is what DC
wow.
said he's at right now. So he's coming in bigger. But I mean, I hope we get to see an extended fight because I want to see what John Jones actually looks
instead
like.
of a 30-second chokeout.
Yeah. So no, I'm excited for all of it. But boys, we got anything else?
I think we're all good. We can wrap this sucker up.
Let's wrap it up. Guys, we appreciate you for joining us. If you're watching on YouTube, as always, like, subscribe, comment, podcast. You can get them wherever you get your podcasts. Subscribe, comment, leave a rating there as well. If you see Gabe or you want to reach out to him this week, tell him congratulations.
Next time, man. Next time y'all see me, I'm going to have a
ring on the finger.
on this finger.
A large ring on that finger.
Yeah, that thing thick.
Thick. So everybody shower Gabe and Taylor with love. They'll be getting married over the weekend. Couldn't be happier for them. And with that being said, we will see you next week.
Thank you for listening to On the Bluff. If you enjoyed this episode, leave a rating and a review wherever you download your podcasts. Also, like and subscribe to Bluff City Media's YouTube page. Head over to www.bluffcitymedia.co for comprehensive coverage of Memphis sports and how you can become an insider.